If you've taken a break from your podcast and you're unsure about how to dive back in, stick around because I'm sharing 5 ways for you to come back stronger than ever. Hi, my friend. Welcome back. I am Simona, and I am so excited to be back here with you after my own hiatus from the podcast, from the channel, from the show. If you're new around here, I run an agency called Volt Productions, and this is a podcast production agency that helps entrepreneurs and podcasters launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts. And today we're talking about something that I see all the time, which is how to come back from a podcast hiatus. And the reason why we're talking about this today is because I've seen entrepreneurs time and time again start their podcast, get really excited about it, life takes over, they get overwhelmed, and then they stop doing their podcast. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with taking a break because sometimes we need a little bit of a break. We need a break to help us feel realigned. We need a break to help us feel excited again, to get back into the motion, into the energy of our podcast and our show and what we're creating. And also, there are certain ways that we can come back from that hiatus, which is what we're going to talk about and share about today. Before we go any further, today's episode is brought to you by Volt Productions, where we help podcasters and entrepreneurs get their shows off the ground, launch them, manage them, and help them monetize them. But not only that, we help them build their podcast into their overall marketing strategy and marketing plan. If you're a podcaster that needs some help with their show, please feel free to book in a 30-minute discovery call with us. We are so excited to hear from you and meet you. The link for that is in the notes below. Okay, let's get into what we're talking about today. So 5 different ways that we can come back from a podcast hiatus. The very first way that I want to share with you today is creating a teaser episode. Now, this can also be a bridge episode in between when your podcast ends and when the hiatus is done and the show picks back up again. Now, this teaser episode is really important because this is where you get to bring your audience along for the ride. You tell them why the hiatus was planned, what they can expect when you come back, and how you're going to be changing things. When I went on hiatus with As It Relates to Podcasting, I put a very short episode on my feed. It was about 3, maybe 5 minutes long, just explaining the hiatus that we were taking, why we were taking it, and ultimately telling people and asking our audience to, hey, stick around. We're going to be coming back with some really cool content. We're just taking a little break for right now. So when you create that bridge episode and you turn it into your teaser, that gets people excited for what's to come. It tells people, hey, we're going somewhere, but not forever. We are coming back. Please stick around. You can keep this short and sweet. You can give people some behind the scenes, some upcoming news that you're able to share at this time. Give them a sneak peek at episode topics that will be coming down the line, and then let them know when the new episode is expected to drop. So for example, As It Relates to Podcasting, you will have a new episode here every single Thursday. Now, I also want to address something that's a little bit off topic from this specific portion of our episode. For As It Relates to Podcasting, let me just touch on the format of the up-and-coming show, the up-and-coming season. We have shifted from guest interviews specifically to doing solo episodes with me. And once a month, I'll bring my team on and we're going to do a roundtable discussion that's going to happen live in my Facebook group, which I'm so excited about. And we're going to be talking about all things podcasting. If you want to catch those episodes live and you want to ask your own questions, feel free to join my Facebook group. The link for that is in the notes as well. And we will take live questions and have amazing conversations about the world of podcasting. That will be really the only type of group sort of interview style episode that we have. Everything else will be solo episodes, which I'm really excited about because we polled our community to bring them along for the ride, especially when it came to the relaunch and the building of excitement of As It Relates to Podcasting from coming off of its own hiatus. And one of the things that you said you loved were the solo episodes. So here we are creating the solo episodes for you. The second thing you want to do is address your hiatus directly. Your audience will always appreciate honesty. It helps them build trust in you, build confidence in you, and know that even if you are going somewhere, you will come back. In the world of podcasting, all kinds of creators are bringing their voice to the mic every single day. That means that there's a bunch of new podcasts coming in when you're on hiatus. And that's okay. I don't want to say that to worry you, but that's genuinely okay. And it's even more of a reason why you want to make sure that you are bringing your audience along the journey, addressing your hiatus directly and sharing about why you're going on hiatus. Whether it's a personal break, whether it was because of burnout, or if you're just working on something new behind the scenes, let your listeners in. Let them know what is going on. Now, you don't have to share every single detail and overshare every single thing, but doing this creates more of an authentic connection between you and your listener, and it helps retain them as your listener for when you come back. Not only that, it also sets the tone for your comeback. The third thing that we're going to talk about today is leveraging your social media and your newsletter. Now, I know it's easy for us to just say, okay, I'm hitting record, I'm pressing publish, and I'm going back on the air. And that's totally great. And that's a thing that can happen as well. But when you do that, you don't prep your audience, your listener, your community of what you are doing and how you are going to be coming back. This is a really important piece of building that connection, that two-way connection between yourself, your show, and your audience. People want to be taken along for the journey. Let people get excited for you returning back to the air. And the way that we do that is by creating social media content for this episode. I'll give you an example. So what I have going right now, actually, I have my iPhone propped up behind the camera that I'm using to record this today. And then I'm going to chop that up and I'm going to put it into different reels for people to see on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my TikTok, saying, hey, we're recording. Hey, we're coming back. And so we're going to use that content and leverage that content to create a bigger deal, to make people really excited. Not only that, we're also using our email list. And we're sending out emails letting people know that, hey, we are coming back and we're really excited about it. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what you want to listen to. The more you leverage your platforms that you already have, the better community you are building, the deeper that connection becomes, and the more excited your audience is to join you again when you finally hit publish on that episode after coming back from your hiatus. Don't just come back and post your episodes without building some kind of hype around it. Use your platforms to announce your return. Share those snippets of information and video clips and audio clips and still images to share your own excitement. And think outside of the box of ways that you can bring them along for the ride that makes them excited too. You can do something like a countdown. You can do something like a reminder. You can do something like a launch party, or you can do something like a Q&A. All of those things are so exciting, and all of those things will help your listener and your community come back together before you hit publish. Tip number 4 that I have for you today is coming back with fresh content. Coming back from a hiatus is the perfect time to introduce those new, fresh ideas. Maybe you have some new amazing guests coming on. Maybe you have a new format for the show, like we're doing here with solo episodes versus the guest episodes that we did before. And maybe it's giving you an opportunity to update the format overall. How do you create that listener experience just a little bit better? How do you create the viewer experience on YouTube just a little more engaging? You want to give your audience a reason to get excited about your return. If you're not excited about it, they're not going to be excited about it. And then another thing I'm going to add here is making sure that you are polling your audience, making sure that you are touching base with your community to see what they want to hear more about. That will help you direct your content. That will help you understand what they are looking for more of. And ultimately, you can take all of that information and create a show that is really powerful for the listener that wants to hear your message. Not only that, you can also look into your data as well. So one of the reasons that we shifted to solo episodes was because we realized that solo episodes were the ones that actually got us the more downloads. Solo episodes were the ones people were most excited to hear about. And so my team and I were like, well, I think we should really create more solo episodes because that is the content that people are wanting to consume more of. So listening to your audience, making sure that you are tapping into what it is that they want to hear from you and looking at your data and your stats and your analytics to help you create those episodes, to help you create that content, to help you ultimately build that bigger relationship between yourself as the host or the business owner and the audience as the listener and the potential consumer and or community member. The very last tip I'm going to leave for you today, tip number 5, is collaborating with other podcasters. Get yourself out there. Take yourself out of your comfort zone and do podcast swaps on different podcasts. If you don't know what those are, let us know and we'll do an episode on them. Get yourself in front of new audiences. Do those guest interviews. You can also feature different guest interviews. You can collaborate with different creators, not just on your podcast, but also on social media and newsletters. And you can also do a little bit of a podcast tour to start talking about your comeback. Doing these collaborations doesn't just help bring a fresh perspective to your show. It actually allows you to tap into totally new audiences that you may not even know exist yet, helping you build your community up and make it a bit of a wider community so that when you are launching your new show, you have a whole bunch of new people to launch it to. Use collaborations to give your podcast exposure right when you need it the most. So here we have it, 5 different ways for you to come back from a podcast hiatus. The first one is having a teaser episode. The second one is addressing your hiatus directly. The third one is leveraging social media and your email list. The fourth one is coming back with fresh content. And number 5 is collaborating with other podcasters. If you're feeling inspired, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on how to grow your podcast. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, be sure to hit that follow button so that you never miss an episode with us. We are here every single Thursday with brand new episodes for you. And if you want to share your thoughts, if you want to leave a comment, or if you want to let us know what you think of this episode, please do. I love hearing your thoughts and anything that you want to learn more about. Reach out to me in the comments on YouTube, send me a message on Instagram, or send me an email. I always love hearing from you. I love hearing your questions, and we just might make a podcast episode from it. Now, go on and get your podcast relaunched. I'll see you on the next one.